Hello, everybody. Welcome to Anime Psychos. It's the podcast for geniuses and the only podcast where we look at the four pillars of modern misery: anime, gaming, posting, and jobs. I'm Tom, an Anime Sicko.
I'm Joe, an Anime Sicko. I just want to take a moment to reflect back on our very good Skewer Return show where we did it with the caveat that if Trump gets elected again, we're not fucking doing it. And we were correct to do that. I was thinking about it the other day. Just like, how many could you honestly do? All right, my piece is about I'm gonna fucking R. Bud Dwyer right now. Here we go. There'd be no life in it.
Yeah, it'd be like, so, folks, like, I don't know if you know this, but a really critical program is being shut down. It's like, which of the 50 such are you discussing? And also, yeah, we said like 2 episodes ago in our Resident Evil 4 episode that like, oh, we're not gonna fucking be yapping about Trump all the time again because like you all get it, right? We're gonna do it again because we need to complain. Because here's the thing:
it's not like
rules.
Analysis. I cannot stress this enough. This is just like I'm just pissed all the time. I walk around. I think of myself as like a sim. In The Sims, when you play it, in the top right corner, it shows like a little queue of all like the activities your sim wants to do next. He's like, I want to eat dinner, and then I want to watch TV, and then I want to sit in that chair. The chair.
Yeah.
I'm like that, but now I just like randomly get like something just shows up in the queue that's just like be pissed.
Yeah.
Like, and the sim cartoonish thing is I like stop my feet and cross my arms,
and there's a little black like cloud of squiggly lines that sort of animates over your head.
Yeah, but I just get pissed. Fucking Celery Man from Tim and Eric, when he's like, generate a nude taint, he's like, fuck. I'm okay. That's every day. Like every 30 minutes, I'm just like, I'm okay.
Yeah, I've said it a few times in a joking way, but I gotta be real with you. It's not a joke. Like, I feel like on the verge of vomiting like a lot of the time. This episode is basically, if I was employed, I could have therapy, but I'm not. So you have to listen to this. Speaking of, we actually have 2 new patrons to thank before we get further into it. Our first is Saint Guillotine. Oh man, if only you would.
Normally iffy about Catholics, but I am willing to make an exception.
Yes, and our next patron is Mellow Dillo.
Thank you, Mellow.
If you are perhaps a Resident Evil 4 man from Spain, you would be Mello Dillo, but I'm pretty sure it's Mellow Dillo. Thank you, Mellow Dillo. You give us $5, you get early release, and we are still working on a game. It's just, I forget about it because the part that I have to do is done. Now it's just waiting on art. And I can't make that go faster. Well, I can, but it would be like, hello, artist. I'm sure you're having a great time in this world. Be more productive. And it's like, no, I can't do that. Shit sucks fucking ass, dude. I saw bad. Maxwell Frost go up to try to get into a government building, and a fucking, like, David the Gnome was standing there, sort of being like, no. And he was just like, well, And like, he posted that as though, like, we're working for you, we're on your side. Don't think we're asleep at the wheel.
Push him down. Like, make them, like, part of the game, which was clear to me, and I thought it was clear to everybody, is just like, they'll just arrest me. Yes, correct. Make them do it. Make them do the thing that has the bad optics. Make them do it.
Yeah. Like, don't you know about the power of an image? Aren't your media people who are constantly doing focus groups, don't they know that, like, a viral picture of you is helpful?
And the Schumer is like not the man for the moment times 1,000. He is Ultra Instinct man, not for the moment. I just did like a Jim Halpert face at God, I guess, when I saw that he like, they're already in the Treasury money computer and they're just like fucking ripping out wires. And he's like, we're thinking about writing a bill that's going to make it illegal to rip out those wires, even though it fucking already is. And I think the issue there is they think a law is like a spell. Like if you get it passed, anyone doing that activity is just, they die, I guess. I don't know.
Like I cannot believe that like Elon Musk's like physical human body is allowed to like do what it's like someone like literally just grab him, like just grab his arm and like don't let him keep walking. Like is it that hard? Is it really impossible?
It's like double helplessness because the people that need to do something are helpless. Mm-hmm. So they're helpless on our behalf. And I don't want them to be helpless. I want them to. And I know there was like a rally outside the Treasury. Good. At the same time, like they're still fucking approving all these cabinet people. So it's like they don't really like think it's that big. Like the money computer kind of bad, but like business still as usual. Like Pam Bondi absolutely has to get power so she can do her anti-Christian searching task force or whatever, which that honestly was the most harrowing thing I've seen recently, just because one, it fucking came like 20 minutes after she, like, I'm in, all right, here we go.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is it just stacks on top of these other oppressive vectors where it's like, what does anti-Christian mean? It means probably anything gay. It means anything trans. So like all these things that they're already going after now have like the AG's office stacked on top of it.
Yeah.
So that's like, and they're just like, yeah, that's fine. Fetterman is obviously an ogre. My understanding is he was like the thing that made it happen. Once again, Dr. Oz, I owe you such an apology. I know you're going to be evil in this other position, but in the context of that Senate race, at least you knew how to wear pants.
Well, you were an evil man, and Fetterman is an evil orc, and it's just like
he keeps getting hit on the head and has a Fred Flintstone change.
Yes,
okay, like he gets hit. He's like, now I'm a famous race car driver.
We need to. Are there any coconut trees in Pennsylvania that we can maneuver him underneath? I don't think so. The thing that fucking like is especially stupid about like, well, we're stymied by the fact that we can't enter this government building. It's like, motherfucker, do you not recall a very famous event where it was clear that not being allowed to enter a government building is not actually a problem? Like it's not something that has consequences. Oh God. To speak of January 6th, I think it's clear that the Democrats are so stupid and so their brains are so corpseified that, you know, the big takeaway from their reaction to January 6th is, even when they personally are in imminent danger of being murdered.
That's what I can't get past. Like they were in there with like zip ties and they were still like kind of like walking around like cattle. Like there's no sense of self-preservation. That's what worries me, I guess. I don't know. Not that I'm like worried for their safety specifically, but it's just like to be existing like that while also in theory wielding oppositional power. They're not.
Yeah.
It's just, it's mind-numbing.
Yes. And the sort of justification that one comes up with for that is like, okay, they're too dumb and too norm-brained to ever truly believe that like there is something happening that is dangerous to them that they have to address. They just will never get it. I figured, however, that they would get a threat to their money because, you know, that's what Nancy Pelosi and Chuck, that's what they're all about. It's about their money. It's about their insider trading. They care about their money. That's the whole ball game, is the money. And then 7 Nazi teens just be like, we would like read-write access to the spreadsheet that says who owns all money, I guess. And like, I was asking Joe, like, do you think they could just like in the column in the database that says like who owns this money, could they just write me? me?
I can assume this has been a very opaque process. The fact that they're like, no, they only have read access. Well, also the right, but mostly the read. It's this element of it is where I'm hung up, I think, the most. Not to say that the fucking transgenocide, anti-gay, everything that's happening is not insanely scary. It's just like the specific mechanism of money that has been appropriated for use, like it is gone through the proper channels, can get yanked at this last moment, even though everyone involved agreed, because there's this guy at the computer who doesn't know enough or doesn't care to learn and will say it's got to go. Like it was clear they were just going through. Part of this shit that's so frustrating is he's just like on X being like, I'm going to kill this now.
Mm-hmm.
But
they should go to that building first, and they stand in front of the door. Then when they are easily pushed aside, they can be like, oh, that's the move.
Yes, and like he's clearly just searching for woke terms. I believe he shut off funding to, I believe the biggest employer in South Dakota is like a Lutheran organization. I believe it has a name of like Progressive Lutheran so-and-so. And because of Progressive, is it just gone now? Like they just cut off funds to it.
I hope your favorite canned soup is Campbell, because you can't have Progresso anymore.
The manic aspect of the cutting is the other element too. It's not like they are definitely going after stuff they don't like, but they have actively like harmed folks I thought they were going to try to like keep out of harm's way for the interests of like popularity or support or anything. But everything is getting cut indiscriminately. They're going after the VA, which is like, that's like a sacred cow in American culture. Is, if there's a sacred cow in American culture,
it's the troops.
It's the troops, specifically the ones that came back and need care and all that shit. And like, these are like things that have like society-wide impacts, to your point about like, don't they care about the money? It's like, these are also cuts that have impacts on the economy. He's eyeing Medicare. He hasn't done, well, as to my knowledge, nothing yet. But the minute you fucking touch that, like, the economy will explode. Of course, people will die, but like I'm just talking in their own selfish interests. Like this is the Deadwood problem. Like this is like Al understands that we're going to make money if we're not a fucked up, pox-filled little town, and nothing is being done to do that. I just really feel like it's over, and I don't mean in like not in like a doomerism way, like it's all, but I just like, I feel this was a one-way gate.
Yeah.
I don't think this is something you can put back in the bottle after you've operated like this, and it's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like fucking the whole thing with U.S. aid just being turned off completely. It's like, that's like all of U.S. soft power, which is not to say that like it's good that the evil empire had a lot of soft power. It's good that they, and I'm not saying that like, it's good to couch all your aid in the implication like, okay, because I did this good thing, you have to be okay with all my evil, which is what it is. But they're still doing good things, and like it is still in in the interests of people who live in this country that there be soft power that it has. And Elon lives in this country, and he is just like, I'm turning that shit off. And our main man, Ram, we never thought we'd see Ram again. He was in Japan learning about JoJo's last we heard. Rahm Emanuel is back in the news being like, we can't fight every battle. Let them have foreign aid. It's red meat. And it's like, that's like, a lot of people are going to die, Rahm.
Also, if you concede to the removal of aid by this mechanism, which again is not like the right process, you're just saying like it's cool that the Constitution's not important. Like you're just like, let's get on that track greedily is what Ram is saying.
Yeah. There's I'm about to say something to you that I said to you before we started recording verbatim. So strap in for review, Joe. For you at home, this is your first time hearing this. A thing I love saying when someone tells an obvious lie is "can't fake that," because it's so funny to me, at least. I say it to my wife all the time. She humors me into chuckling in a polite way. But there was like someone online, some post somewhere that was like, I am so upset that Doge is doing this illegal cuts They're just cutting everything, illegally turning off parts of the government that we paid for and that have a benefit to us, and they're just turning it off. That's so bad. And some conservative person responded and was like, overreacting much, liberal paranoid freak. The stated goal of Doge is to review all these programs and find inefficiencies. And I'm just like, stated goal, can't fake that.
Oh yeah, this is like, our mission statement is we're good, we kick ass, and I would like to direct you back to the mission statement.
Yeah, and this
let's take what he's saying at face value. The stated goal is to find inefficiencies or whatever. Okay, fine. But the thing that they're doing is that they're stopping shit and then reviewing to figure out if there is inefficiencies. And a lot of this stuff has to be continuous, and the disruption of it, even for review, invalidates it, endangers people, whatever.
It's like we'd have to explain it to Elon in like epic terms. It's like, you're the guy from Ghostbusters who unplugs the ghost holding machine and makes all the ghosts shoot out because you're like, I need to review the ghost holding machine. And it's like, okay, but don't unplug it. You understand that you can't unplug the ghost holding machine. Yeah. It's really fucked up. Do you remember, we've talked about this, but you remember that there was like this was a fun fact on like Reddit in our college days. It was like, oh, this chilling fact. No sleep when you read this chilling fact. This genius mathematician from the 1920s read the U.S. Constitution and was chilled by a horrible discovery that he came up with that he never told anyone. Because if anyone knew, it would destroy the society of the United States. How scary.
I know this. Because he discovered, this shit's like fake.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to do math at all or anything. Anyone could have noticed this.
Yeah. You can just like walk into a room and do something.
Man, oh man. Norms are crazy. At some point, if you become a norm head, you sound deranged. Merrick Garland, who did nothing and obviously is largely responsible for the situation we're in, his statement on it about like what's coming and everything. He said like norms like 8 times. It was like, we got to have norms. We got to have, oh man, norms. The most important thing, norms. And it's like, this is, it's not a person who's well.
Yeah. It's Joe. It's like the flip side of the fact that Elon Musk is still saying Doge. Like he's still with the fucking doggy meme. It's like,
yeah,
that's
me and my
from
crew named Bad News Brian are here to fuck up everything. Yeah.
We're looking for leeches on the government. You might call them overly attached girlfriends, and we're gonna cut them off.
My understanding, Meals on Wheels is still not happening. My neighbor has Meals on Wheels. I've not seen the car. I this is one of those things where it's like, I want to be hopeful, but I don't want to just be like, hey, is everything fucked up? Okay, bye.
Yeah.
It's grim out there, and the thing that frustrates me is just because he can't conceive of it or someone doing it, it doesn't exist and it has to go. Yeah. And it's just like, that's literally what the judge in Blood Meridian does. They're like in some cave and they find like some, I don't know if it's prehistoric, but some sort of interesting cave marking from a while ago. And he like copies it down in his notebook, and then he like rubs it off the wall, and he says, anything that exists without my knowledge exists without my permission. And like that's it.
That's very grim. Fuck, man. You know what else is grim? I'm gonna read this. So we talked about the Nazi Doge teens. Well, before I get to this one, I just want to. The one of them got fired for being like even more racist online than the baseline, and they're trying to get him reestablished with the sort of pitch is an evil DEI journalist woman. So like every single word is increasing the
just
rage
like hate.
level.
Just like, are you primed for hate, my
Kill
friends?
her. An evil DEI woman journalist tried to get our noble Nazi Beavis fired. We need to kill her and reinstate her. And JD Vance piped in being like, it is not acceptable for an activist journalist to get a public servant fired. If he's bad at his job, then he can get fired. But
Well, he's
until
bad at his job. He's just fucking like in the computer like a little rat.
But the thing, like one of the fucking tweets that got him fired was he was saying, we need more Indian hate. Mr. Vance, Mr.
He's a
Vice
noted
President, sir.
Indian wife, yes. So he is a worm, right? I don't know what else to say. Like
that's your kids. Like he's talking about your kids. He wants more people to hate that. Like, again, do you have no self-preservation whatsoever? Are you that loyal to the idea that you're just like, I don't care if my family gets killed by a mob? I probably won't get killed by that mob. Yes, you will. Ask fucking Mike Pence, baby. No, this is the one I wanted to say. This is by another Nazi child who works for Doge. This was posted this December, 2 months ago. Are there large language models made specifically for parsing things like documents, forms, PDFs, JSON, HTML, Excel, etc., and converting them from one form to another?
Insane amount of slashes. Basically, all digital objects.
So, my friend, I don't know if you know this, but there is a you drop down file, it'll say save as. And there's going to be another drop down, and I think that's going to answer your question right there when you see what that drop down shows, what sort of options you have there. This is the programmer so good that right out of college, Elon could not help but take him into the fold to destroy the country. This also, speaking of destroying the country, there's a tweet from our homie Dan Sheehan that he recently did that hit us very hard. It has super resonated. Joe, do you want to read this tweet out?
Yeah. I'd be happy to read this wisdom. I am beginning to think that having any memory of a world where things work somewhat well is going to be a massive detriment moving forward. Just getting slowly driven insane when it takes 3 tries to mail a letter, because I remember that it used to not be like that. Yes, absolutely. I have been obviously worried about a lot, but I have thought about this. It's like things just stop working, and I will just always be nagged by the thought that, like, I used to be able to do this easy peasy. I didn't have to talk to a warlord at all.
Erica, our friend Erica Dreisbach, Skewer co-producer, her husband, also a great guy. He is Romanian, and they will occasionally go to Romania for visiting family. And Erica will talk about how attempting to do the bureaucratic stuff that is required to follow the rules of Romania is absurd. And like it is comical the way you will be told conflicting things. You will get to the front of the line and they will be like, where's your where's your such and such form? And it's like, I swear to fucking God, we asked about that form. They said we didn't need it. And it's like, well, you're wrong. And like
this is paper please stuff, like
exactly.
Every step of the way. Yeah.
Yes. And like they when they are like doing these processes, they know like we have to have like 5 times the amount of documents and forms that we've informed we needed. And even then, they're sometimes left on the back foot like, well, we don't fucking, what? Like, huh? What? That's going to be now. And like, once you have a government that is so corrupt and like the functioning of it, like the very boring, like DMV style functioning of it just does not work. Like that's democracy over, because like you will never get anyone to vote again, because the whole thing that the message that will allow reformers to get into power is like, we will change the things that don't work and replace them with things that do work. And everyone's going to say, no, that's not possible. First of all, how is the election going to be done competently? Like, how do you? I don't believe that anyone working in that is going to do a good job.
That's a good filter right now when people talk about 2026. It very well could be like elections. I don't think they will be the real deal. But when people talk about like the Dems in 26 and 28 and the Senate map and stuff, it's just like, I feel like that might not be the best use of your time. I don't know. I'm not high confidence that it's going to be normal.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's always the idea that, like, oh, Elon will hack the machines. I don't know about that. Maybe, but, like, that seems like a kind of cope. But, like, I think the more likely thing is very seriously, like, just the institutional knowledge and, like, stuff required to do an election is just going to get hollowed out, and there's going to be fewer people who know less with less resources to actually, like, figure out who
also
won.
Elections aren't handled at the federal level, they're handled at the state level, which means all you got to do is fuck up a few states, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure there's plenty of red states that have plenty of people in power who are willing to be like, we will collude. Like, let's fuck it up. Yeah. I
guess the thing, like, I sound like a AP history teacher or something. It's very lib and very dumb, but like, I just keep also coming back to the fact that, like, in what sense is this a union if, like, everybody pays into the pool and then the guy who's in charge of the pool decides just, fuck you, you're okay, fuck you. Especially when previously there was not that sort of selective thing, because it's not in the Constitution. And I don't care about the Constitution. Please don't, like, because if you care about the Constitution, you end up you get air-butted. You do, because like, it doesn't matter. You keep pointing to shit that doesn't matter. The 14th Amendment effectively doesn't matter, because isn't there one on there that's like, you can't have a guy who did a fucking coup?
Yeah.
So it's like, we're not paying attention to that part. Fine. So we're just kind of in the territory of not paying attention to other parts.
Mm-hmm. And I don't want to sound like an AP history professor, but guys, your essay is due tomorrow, and I do not want to see any AI on these. Make sure that you cite real sources, MLA or Chicago style. I don't care, just as long as it's consistent.
And like, there's stuff that's being done that's like, I can only see as 100% pure wrecking behavior. Not like this will benefit a certain group. This is just like, the purpose is wrecking. Yesterday, the Bureau of Labor Statistics was like, yeah, we're not doing fucking data no more. See ya. And like, it's not just like what the unemployment rate is. Businesses look at that shit because it is useful information that helps them do capacity planning. Like, you're burning it all down. You're burning it all down for not something of the business people, but like, you are letting everyone be less effective. No one wins here unless the goal is just to fucking level society. The best phrase to help me understand that, and I forget who said this, whoever did is one of the great geniuses of all time. This entire thing, from top to bottom, like, what is the animating impulse? Why would they do this? What is, like, is it, would you call it Trumpism? Well, I don't think so, because especially now, he just seems to be like sitting in a chair asleep. He's not really a factor these days. It's Elon. The whole thing is 2 words: boss's revenge. It is simply like, I am sick of hearing about the people. Fuck them. I'll kill you. And with that framing, doesn't it all make sense? He's just hurting the country. He's just ripping things out of the wall for fun, just destroying so many critical systems. Why Boss's revenge.
Boss's revenge.
Boss's revenge. Yes. What I will say, I agree completely, and I think this is under the larger category of boss's revenge, because man, oh man, it is a type of revenge. But one thing I can't stand is I see replies or something people like understand what's happening with the DEI stuff, but then they say, oh, they're being hypocritical. They're doing DEI for white people. And it's like, you fucking moron. They're resegregating society, you stupid shit. Like, it's not DEI for white people. The goal is resegregation.
Yeah. Like, just like woke, just like PC, just like CRT. Remember CRT? Are you fucking kidding me? Like, DEI is the N-word. Like, don't you get it? They don't actually think of it as what it is, which is like a program that makes it more likely that non-white people have a fair shot at employment. They're saying
it's a tool that makes stuff go away they don't like.
Yes. Like why do they hate it so much? Because they hate black people and they're saying the N-word in code. Like, okay, do you get it?
And this is also a push to like make it like there are clearly white jobs and black jobs. Again,
yes.
like that. Yes. This is a huge element.
The whole fucking thing about the airplane crash, and it's just like it might have been a black pilot, and it's just like why? I mean, I know why they think that would matter, just because they hate all black people. But just like, does that work on someone who isn't already bought in? Does like the average low information rube who isn't like completely already polarized, do they hear that and go like, yeah, I bet a black person would be bad at flying a plane because cartoons always have white people flying a plane? And it's like, is that real? Like, they know flight school's real. Like, they make you log hours. We know that.
Yeah. I mean, the goal here is to make it so the perception of anyone non-white in any job that isn't like something they think is acceptable, they can immediately point at and be like, oh, this was like a courtesy hire. This was just them extending a nicety, but not real merit. Obviously not the case, but that's the goal of it.
Yeah, the goal is to make it illegal. Like, if you are like in an office and you see a black person, there will be a hotline that you can call that will like put the CEO in jail for doing that.
I mean, Pam Bondi is going after companies that still do DEI, which is so amazing to me because for many companies, DEI is like literally like an hour of a module that reduces the likelihood that they're going to get like harassment lawsuits and stuff. It's not like a big like, ooh, social program where we're going to rewire the nuclear family. It is honestly just like a training module. The thing that is insane is that they want to go after employee groups, ERGs, which I've been in places that have ERGs. I like never cared because it's work. That said, like my last one I was in, my last job, I did kind of like sign up for one, but I didn't participate in it. But it was just like the ERG for people with disabilities. And it's just insane to think that like, yeah, no more of that. Like no more grouping based around that.
It sucks so fucking much. I hate the evil country. You know what we haven't said in a while that I really think needs to be said again? Especially because it's realer now than it ever was. And it was real the first time we said it. The devil is fucking real. Like,
He's
God's
so real.
fake, the devil's real.
Hell isn't real either. The devil's just here. He like walks around. He's 5'4".
Yeah, he brings hell with him. And he's here, so enjoy.
He's like a jockey. He's very fast. His turning radius is insane. He will get you.
You know how speedrunners in Mario will do backwards jumps over and over and they go like 1,000,000 miles per hour? The devil can do that in real life, and he's doing it all the time over our great nation. He's fucking real. Like the boss's revenge, the pain and killing for its own purpose. You can't see that and not see that like behind the flesh of their human faces, they're allowing like Satan to take hold, and they love it. They are so happy to do it. Like it's I'm getting mad. I'm thinking about Chapter Black from Yu Yu Hakusho, the scary VHS tape that contains every sin humanity has ever done since the first monkey stole a grub from the second monkey. And I'm just like, we're watching Chapter Black every fucking day. Like,
We're complaining. We need to complain. It's healthy to complain.
They don't want you to complain.
It is a lot of this stuff. If you just talk about it, you do sound kind of like a crank, which is something I don't love. Especially just like any functions downstream from the money computer stuff makes you sound like you're making it up. Just like, he's in the money computer. Ah! Like it'll obviously be easier to communicate as stuff continues to get cut off. And I just don't know. It's the thing that also surprised me is like cutting money to like the alphabet agencies with like the super spec ops guys. Like, I don't know. I thought like when you try to like consolidate authoritarian power, you'd want, like, don't you want scary guys?
Yeah, like you don't want to be like, hello, Agent 47, you're unemployed. Like,
yeah, I have no, maybe he's just, everyone is that untouchable and I'm just ignorant. I just don't know, man.
it could be just ideological capture is so strong amongst the insane murderer community that they're just like, if my god, Satan, wishes me to suffer, I will. Oh boy, like I hope not, but it really feels the fact that Elon Musk still has like the standard number of holes in his head speaks to total ideological capture of the murder arm of the government.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know who really hates when you complain is the Democrats. Did you see that news item going around where someone...
Oh yeah, they hate how they're getting all these calls lately.
Yes, someone was like, stop calling us. You're literally calling the wrong people. I assume by that they mean like, we're on your side. Call the Republicans.
Oh yeah, they're really open to persuasion, for sure. Yeah. Like, hey, I know you're getting everything you want. I'm one of your little constituents. Can you just stop?
Yeah, can you make an enemy of all the powerful people who can destroy you at a stroke? Can you do that for me? And like the idea that like you like stop yelling at us. We're already on your side. It's like you might. No, like being on a side is an act. You know, you have to do it. Not being on the Republican side, which they are in a huge way, in many ways. But like just not being on their side does not mean you're on my fucking side. And it's like just the idea that like we're being uppity by complaining. They just don't want you to complain, folks. They don't. And it's not fair because complaining is so fun and good and it makes you feel better, and I haven't felt like vomiting once this entire recording session. It you know why? Because I've been complaining. It's good for you. Do it. Complain.
Can I read, I believe, the best sort of bracketing of Elon Musk as a person that I've ever seen? This is a really good tweet. This is from Farner. Elon Musk is a genius who also happened to get into Pepe the Frog at age 50. That is a very, very powerful statement. That is what we call a high speech stat.
Yeah. This is what the drag queens call getting read to filth. I mean, I talked about, like, how is it that, like, he's like, I will name my agency after an epic meme. Doge. And it's like, what year are you in? Like, what is... You need to call it the Skibbity Squad or something. Like, that's even probably out of date. I don't think they care about the toilets anymore.
But his little boys would probably, like, resonate with the Skibbity one better.
Yeah. I don't know. But yeah, just him being 50 and still being so, like, everything about him is childish.
He does have a very, like literally giant toddler, like, ethos. In the big picture, does it matter that he's, like, taunting everyone on his stupid platform with his sideways crying emoji? Like, that's not materially important as, like, him taking shit away. But, like, he just has to be the ass. Like, he has to be the biggest asshole. Like, there's no other option.
Mm-hmm. Like, what was he doing when he was, like, 30? Not in terms of like business wise, but like what was his culture? I remember someone, oh, I know who it was. It was Sarah McHenry. She shared a post that was not post, it was an article that was like Elon Musk's 5 favorite songs. Let me see if I can find it.
Oh, one of them is just like Santa Claus is coming to town, right? Just some bizarre grown in a lab thing.
It's very clearly like he has never listened to music and is just, okay, oh, here they are. Fly Me to the Moon, Frank Sinatra. I like the sense and possibility, and it's really inspiring. And I'd like to fly to the moon. Obviously, I own a space company. Always look on the bright side of life. It's a funny song because the characters are being crucified at the time. But I think it's a good reminder to not get focused on the negative things in life. My personal philosophy is I'd rather be optimistic. America, fuck yeah, from Team America. This is from that movie, Team America. I'm a big fan of South Park. They capture a little bit of the essence of America. Conte Partiro by Andrea Bocelli. This one is surprising. This is like not... All the others are just he sees the titles and he's like, yeah, that's the thing. I like the moon. It's an incredibly beautiful song, sung really beautifully. Incredible. And then, of course, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I don't understand it, but it's the song that I whistle the most. So I guess it's good to have Santa Claus come to town. Just like no thoughts. Nothing happening. Like, I hate this fucker. I saw someone say this, and I'm fear that it's true, and it's so sad that it is, but that he is less psychologically deep. That there's less to him even than Trump. And our thing about Trump is that like he's so difficult to make to do like satire about because like there's not nothing
anything there beyond what is visible with your eyes.
Yes. Like Elon Musk, what is he? He does that jump where he sticks all 4 of his limbs out in a big X like a toddler does, and he has tantrums. And that's it. That's his whole thing. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Joe, I just got informed there's a leak of one of the buyout emails that Elon sends to the federal employees. And it says this: the reformed federal workforce will be built around 4 pillars.
He can't keep getting away with this. He steals everything.
That's ours. We fucking came up with that. You can't.
Not only that, we came up with 4. Like before, it used to go 1, 2, 3, 5. And then we thought, let's pump the brakes here. We can get something in this space.
The 4 pillars that he has aren't even good. They're return to office.
That's so. Oh man, I can think of like just like you open with
it. Return to office, performance culture. Basically, if you're black, come on, we're firing you. More streamlined and flexible workforce. We're firing you. And enhanced standards of conduct. If you're nice to a black person, we're firing you. Fucking Christ.
Those 4 pillars are just precarity, though, in different forms.
Yes.
Which, is obviously boss's revenge.
Yeah. Here are the 4 things that you're gonna expect when you come back to work. It sucks more, we have more power, and you can't complain. Enjoy. Yeah, I mean, like, enhanced standards of conduct and performance culture is basically just like, if you complain, we'll fucking kill you. Which is why, again, complaining is so valuable to do when you can do it. That's really what protests are, is big complaints. And that's also why whenever you get some fucking Dave Weigel type being like, this protest is actually really bad optics. It's like, don't you understand? It's never about optics. It's not a show. A protest is not a show.
When people talk like that, it's sort of, to me, has always suggested they like imagine like, we're about to do a protest, let's have a meeting first. And it's like a lot of this shit is spontaneous. It builds up. It's not like, there's not an agenda.
Yes, like the point is the government, especially a fascister it gets, it wants you to take it. It wants you to sit there and accept and follow the rules. And the whole point of a protest is to basically break out of that system and say, like, I actually hate this. I am saying something about it. I refuse to comply with the system. I am complaining. The thing you hate. The thing that is never allowed for in the system. There's no fascist government that has a complaints department built in. The fact that you are protesting is by its very nature being like, I'm fucking sick of being told to follow these rules, and I am going to say what I think. And to be doing that and have Dave Weigel being like, I think you were stupid for saying that. It's like, fuck you too. I'm protesting you now also.
That is a fun sort of super Monday morning quarterbacking that still happens. They'll be like, Occupy Wall Street could have been more effective if X, Y, or Z. It's like, come on. Like, are you suggesting that if it was handled little, we'd be in a utopia? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. The sort of obvious answer is like, it's people who are ashamed that they weren't a part of it, trying to justify not being a part of it, because it wouldn't have mattered if I was a part of it, because it wasn't gonna work anyway, because it wasn't really done very well, and it didn't have good optics. Fucking Christ. I don't know, dude. This shit, groceries cost so goddamn much to begin with. Like, from baseline, I'm going oof when I buy my food. And I'm buying cheap food. I'm not eating out much. I'm not, like, buying I buy meat like never. I don't even buy eggs really that much. And it still costs a fucking lot. Here's the thing. You need to eat every day. Did you know that? I can't stand it. It really costs a lot. It adds up big time.
Like, by every metric, we're all going to be poorer.
Yes.
Just in terms of buying power, tariffs, whatever. What we're able to get for what we have will continue to get shittier and shittier.
Until, of course, he makes the FDIC go away, which they floated. And if that happens, I'm like the scaredest man.
At that point, can they just take money out of your checking account? Like, at that point, like, what I'm honestly asking. Like, is it just like smash and grab time then when that occurs? Is that mattress time?
I mean, maybe, because like the whole thing about like the bank is that if the bank goes away, the FDIC will give you your money anyway. And if that's gone, and if there's an evil man who has read-write access at the Treasury and has all of my bank account data and social security number, like, I feel like it would take like a day of work for Elon Musk to like reassign every dollar that there is just to him personally. And then what are you going to do?
The FDIC also like benefits business. Like, it is it's the Deadwood Ale thing. It's like we are a working town that allows us to function. We have these things that allow commerce. And obviously getting rid of it is so they could just do whatever the fuck they want. But, like, they're also fucking over a stable business environment, which is one of the things that, like, America has always never shut up about.
Yeah, again, like I always say, like, don't you know you also live here? Like, is your house not here? Like, you go to the same grocery store, man. You know what I think it is? Because, like, I, too, had this impulse, like, well, once it really harms business, there's going to be real pushback. I think that we have again, I think it's just boss's revenge. We have the people in charge are too dumb. They simply don't have the intellectual capacity to see their own self-interest, much the same way the Democrats don't. The Democrats are in fucking physical danger of death and of all their money going away, and they just don't get scared. Why not? And like these business people, like, don't you know you're sabotaging the very system that allows you to thrive? Why are you doing this? Aren't you scared of that? They don't know. They're too stupid to see beyond the reach of their own hands, and what they want their hands to do is be strangling something. The people who do understand this, maybe they're a few rungs down the corporate ladder. Well, Joe, have you ever had a situation where you have a really obviously good idea that is better than the idiot idea that the CEO wants to do, and you present them the good idea, has it ever been thus that the CEO says, I was wrong, let's do the other one? No. Like, so I think truly just like I am a victim of full ideological capture, and I will immolate my own livelihood for the sake of the project of evil. I think that just is how it is with a lot of these fucking people.
Yeah, yes. The thing is, it's like pain everywhere. There's just pain coming in every vector for everyone in different ways, of course. We've been clear that certain people are being targeted, but it's just like indiscriminately raining down misfortune and just destroying state capacity, just like everywhere it's possible.
To talk about indiscriminate pain everywhere, I want to read a quote from a Wall Street guy who is really excited about the Trump administration and is happy about what's happening. This is a banker. I feel liberated, said a top banker. We can say our word, except he didn't say our word, and pussy without the fear of getting canceled. It's a new dawn.
What kind of loser couldn't say pussy? I'm sorry.
You don't even get that bleeped out on TV. Like, you can say pussy. But it's just like, that's like, oh, that's it? Like, that's the thing that motivates you. That's the thing that you want your... I was about to say you want your government to do that, like, makes you feel proud to be an American. There's nothing government about it. You can say the R word. Like, you can. It just is
now
like,
that, like, you get high-fived.
It's just kind of like we all agreed that we're gonna get meaner. And that is the Trump administration. We all got together, me and the boys, because it's the boys. You know it's the boys. Me and the boys got together and we decided, like, we're gonna fucking beat you up all the time.
Something kind of harrowing pointed out to me was the median Trump staffer was in middle school for the first term, man. You like understand? Yeah, right. See, it's like we are. Oh boy.
I mean, another fucking angle to Dan Sheehan's tweet about it's going to be a detriment to have memories of the world working. These kids, these fucking Nazi children, have no trouble doing this because, again, they don't know that it ever worked. I mean, I want to be clear, it didn't ever work. There was never anything but massive inequality and injustice in America. But, like, it used to be that, like, the IRS would find tax fraud among rich people and get money from them. Now it's just like, well, that's not going to happen. It used to be that, like, there were, like, engineering departments that would, like, keep, I think there is, like, I saw a video about this. So there's some, like, crazy engineering solution that keeps a certain type of invasive fish that's in the Chicago River out of the lake. What happens when the people who are in charge of that get fired? Like, the fish gets in the lake and then, like, well, it'll never be out of the lake ever again. Like, that's, and they just don't know that, like, it matters. Like, it matters that this shit, and, like, also just, yeah.
Let's say you turn it back on. You turn back on funds for River Fish Guy. Okay, well, it's been a while, and River Fish Guy has moved to find a new fucking job because you ruined his life. And also
or
now
he, died.
Or he died, yeah.
That's the fucking thing about, like, he's just doing efficiency reviews. That's why he turned off all of these programs, so he can check to see if they're efficient. It's just like, if the Democrats somehow pulled off an incredible political move and got U.S. aid completely reinstated with the exact same amount of funding, like, next month, I'm sorry, like, do you think that you're going to be able to hire back every single person and get them right back to what they were doing? It's like, no. Like, things have changed in a huge way, and it requires, like, a full rebuild from square one, which is so fucking hard, especially because nothing is built in this country. In the same way that I can't imagine there ever being a train in Chicago being built, I can't imagine the U.S. government spinning up a functioning department that actually does a real thing.
I think we can turn it around, though.
Mm-hmm. you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I think we just need gumption.
Gumption, okay.
Yeah.
It's been an hour. We've been complaining for an hour. Are we done? We're done.
I feel I feel good, but I still feel bad. Like I just took it just a demonic shit. Like I'm free from the bad thing.
But it's going to build back up. This is why you have to make a habit of complaining. Legitimately, part of why I always feel like I'm about to vomit is just, it feels like I'm getting filled up and up and up and up with evil. And, like, what do you want me to do with this? Like, I don't live in DC. I can't stand in front of a building and yell. And I just feel like, the shovelfuls of evil keep coming, even though I'm already full. I can't take anymore. And as useless as it is to fucking moan and complain, it helps. It empties.
Oh, it
out.
absolutely does. You got to complain. You got to complain about one thing. I wanted to start potentially on the Discord. Maybe I'll do this. Is a channel that's for complaints specifically that are small. It's like the world is so bad right now. It's really a pain in the ass to like complain about little stuff because there's obviously much worse shit. There should be a space for just like, dude, the mouse button is really making a weird noise. I can't fucking stand this.
I mean, yeah, that's easily done. Just call it like small grievances.
Yeah.
People don't want you to complain. They'll yell at you. They'll say, stop complaining. Never stop. Fuck them.
That's the trick, though. You can complain on this bitch of an earth if you're funny about it. That's the real truth of the matter.
Yeah, that's why we're the most healthy men who ever lived.
Yeah, my back doesn't hurt for sure.
You're not wearing a strange homemade brace to keep your arm from going in the wrong position.
Oh, this wrap? This is actually a mummy starter?
Oh, okay. This is actually really smart. Because Elon, if you look at his 5 favorite songs, once he gets to the 5th one, he's like, one song that I hate is King Tut by Steve Martin because mummies are so scary to me. And if I ever see one, I'll die immediately. So we need to all become mummies and learn the mummy's curse and get out of this, folks. Anyway, that's all for Anime Sickos this week. I've been Tom and Anime Sicko.
I've been Joe and Anime Sicko.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for listening to Anime Sickos. I've been Tom, a sicko. You can follow me on Blue Sky at Tom Harrison. Joe was also a sicko. You can follow him on Blue Sky at Sharia Uncle. You can follow Anime Sickos on Blue Sky at Anime Sickos, or email us at animesickos@gmail.com. You can give us money at patreon.com/Anime Sickos if you want. Please leave us a review or something. I don't know. Tell a friend. Anyway, until next time, bye.